The Fox 61 News at 10 starts now.
Now at 10, rain is covering the state, but you can see some pink showing up on the radar. And that means freezing rain, and that's why we begin tonight with a weather impact alert. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 10. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We've been preparing you for this system for the last couple of days. We knew it was coming. We have live team coverage tonight. Fox 61's Tim Latoe is in the storm tracker tracking the road conditions out there tonight, but we begin with Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank.
Yeah, it looks like most of the state is getting that cold rain, but as you mentioned, we are changing over to freezing rain in northwest and northeast Connecticut. We are not expecting the ice to be as widespread or as far south as it was a couple of days ago. Can you believe it? It was just a couple of days ago. This week has been 3 weeks long. Norfolk, Goshen, Heartland, all seeing temperatures around or below freezing. So that means we are glazing things up. We are seeing rain falling from the sky, but temperatures are below freezing. Union also seeing temperatures that are around or below freezing. And the idea here is as temperatures drop, that ice will drop farther south. We also have some very heavy rain heading this way. There's even some lightning strikes here showing up. Here's a look at temperatures, though, and this is good news. It's 35 in Hartford, 36 in Meriden, and we're in the mid to upper 30s for the shoreline. And while we do think that there is a decent bet at icing in northwest and northeast Connecticut, this is where we think it'll be more widespread. You're more likely to see those glazed up trees and some issues out on the roads, some slipping and sliding on your way out the door. But I think in areas in the valleys, in Danbury, in New Milford, there's some icing, but again, it may be more manageable. Check in with the Fox 61 Morning Show crew. They'll get you started on where the trouble spots are. So I would say definitely problematic here, chance to be problematic here, and then a lower risk of having issues in southern Connecticut. So we might just luck out with temperatures staying a degree or two above freezing. That can make all the difference. This all wraps up right around daybreak tomorrow, but issues could remain even after the precipitation moves on. It's just a cloudy, dreary day. We have a big warm up to talk about in the 7-day coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And as Rachel said, that mess on the radar will be happening all night long, which could also make the morning commute a little bit slick.
Fox 61's Tim Latoe has been on the roads all evening. He's on I-91 right now in Hartford. So, Tim, how have they changed since we saw you earlier today?
Yes, Sarah, these roads are covered in water. Traffic is moderate, but it's moving slowly because of that layer of water on these roads. Some really tough conditions out here for anyone who is traveling. And of course, it's that ominous layer of water that we're so worried about if that turns into freezing rain and becomes a layer of ice. If you look at outside here, what we're looking at right now, as we head down I-91 southbound here, some trucks up ahead in front of us here, a construction zone here on I-91 just south of Hartford now. And of course, these bridges, that's where the ice can start on the bridges, of course, as they get colder than the rest of the road as well. And there were a number of crashes in the last couple of days, really, on I-91 and I-84, many involving trucks and large vehicles. One involved DOT snowplow and 2 tractor trailers. Another was an 8-vehicle pileup. So all things to be mindful of as people are driving tonight. And certainly have to look out for any slick spots out there because of that risk of freezing rain. Traffic is moving pretty slowly. We're only going about 45, 50 miles per hour out here. Not too fast. Certainly being careful around some of these turns in the cities on those bridges that are elevated and can freeze so easily. And it's certainly something that drivers have to be mindful of as they're traveling tonight, and also, like you said, tomorrow morning in that commute as well. And something we'll all be checking on all throughout the newscasts tonight. So be sure to keep it right here on Fox 61 for all of your weather impact alert coverage. For now, live in Hartford, Tim Latoe, Fox 61.
All right, Tim, thank you. And with another round of winter weather on the way, a lot of people across Connecticut were busy today making last-minute preparations, including stocking up on ice melt. But that is becoming harder to do. We visited several hardware stores today. Many of them were already sold out of ice melt just hours after opening. Customers spent the day walking into stores, checking the empty aisles, and asking employees if any new shipments of salt were on the way. A few stores still had some supply left, including an Ace Hardware in Rocky Hill, but even there, only a handful of bags were left.
Home Depot and Lowe's are all sold out, so this was like a desperation stop, not gonna lie, you know, but I'm glad that they had it. I had to get 4 bags, so hopefully this will last me until it's all over.
Now, many of the people we talked to say they're hoping this latest storm will be the last time they have to buy salt until next winter. And here.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah.
State's cold weather protocols active right now, and it will last until noon tomorrow. If you need shelter or a warming center, call 211 or visit 211.org. Transportation can also be provided. And a reminder, you can keep up to date on the latest forecast 24/7 on Fox 61 Plus. That's our free streaming app. Download it right now on your smart TV and watch us for free.
And we're following breaking news here at 10:50 or 10:05, I should say. Part of the Silas Deane Highway was shut down in both directions near exit 24. Just reopened a few minutes ago, and the Rocky Hill Fire Department just left the scene. Firefighters say a drone thermal image showed intense heat from an underground electrical line that powers local streetlights. Some I-91 ramps were also closed, and officials were concerned nearby traffic signals could be affected. For the latest traffic alerts, head to fox61.com. Well, one couple in Plainville is without a home tonight after a fire this afternoon. Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot has a closer look at the damage.
A home left unrecognizable after a fire tore through it. Zooming in, you can see there's nothing left. A mobile home destroyed, siding torn away and scattered across the ground. Irreplaceable items gone for good. Plainville firefighters responded to the Mobile Parks home Thursday afternoon and found a trailer on fire. They knocked the flames down within 15 minutes, and firefighters say the two people who lived there made it out safely. Tonight we're learning from a neighbor it was an elderly couple inside.
All I know is they came running to my house. She said she was eating and he was sleeping, and she had to wake him up to that there was a fire. They said it was a water heater, but I think it was the furnace.
Michelle Whitbeck says she and her husband called 911. Whitbeck says her neighbor's trailer was very old, which is why she believes the furnace may have been the cause. Firefighters say the couple was taken to the hospital for possible smoke inhalation, but they are both conscious and alert. Fire marshals are still investigating what caused the fire. In Plainville, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. Do not eat fish from the West River. That's the warning tonight from the State Department of Public Health after a tanker truck caused a massive fuel spill in West Haven 1 week ago. Now take a look here at the map DPH sent us. The advisory covers the section of the West River starting from Derby Avenue and continuing down to Kimberly Avenue. Now, last Thursday, a tanker truck hauling 2,600 gallons of fuel oil was involved in a crash. It spilled the oil onto the road, and that entered a storm drain that then led into the West River. Crews have been working to contain the spill as it enters the river, but officials say the advisory is in effect for the next 2 weeks until no observable sheen or odor is detected.
After two deadly police shootings in Hartford, there have been lots of questions about the use of non-lethal tools and whether officers should be required to carry them.
Right now, there's no statewide law that mandates police officers in Connecticut carry tasers. Departments here set their own policies. Now, experts say most cities and towns require officers on patrol to have them, but in Hartford, that's not the case. According to police, all officers are trained and issued a taser when they join the department, but it's ultimately up to each officer whether to carry it on duty. Hartford police say about 75% of officers choose to carry one.
Body camera footage from one of the recent incidents shows an officer deploying a taser several times at a man who was holding a knife, but the taser didn't work. Another officer then shot the man, and he died a few days later. Ken Barron is the Associate Director of UConn's Institute of Municipal and Regional Policy. He explained to us why a taser might not work.
Tasers, as an example, they're challenging tools to use, particularly this time of year. They work really well when they make contact with an individual's skin. And they work really well when there's 2 points of contact on the body. They work less well when we're wearing thick clothing or we're wearing a big coat or multiple layers.
Investigators into both deadly use of force cases are ongoing, but experts say the incidents could spark new conversations about whether Hartford officers should be required to carry tasers on patrol. Connecticut's one of more than 20 states challenging a new round of international tariffs. This is Connecticut Attorney General William Tong's 49th lawsuit against the Trump administration. Today, Tong joined officials from more than 20 states to file in the case of the U.S. Court of International Trade. He argues the president used the wrong federal law to impose the tariffs. Just weeks ago, the Supreme Court struck down earlier tariffs. Tong is now calling for refunds of more than $1,700 per Connecticut household. The White House says the president acted within his authority and plans to defend the tariffs in court.
And President Trump says he is replacing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. He nominated Oklahoma Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin to take over the position. The announcement comes just days after Noem faced tough questions from lawmakers on Capitol Hill over immigration enforcement policies that sparked protests and lawsuits. Trump says Noem will instead serve as a special envoy for a new Western Hemisphere security effort called the Shield of the Americas.
Conflict between the U.S. and Iran and U.S. and Israel and Iran is escalating for a 6th straight day as airstrikes and missile attacks continue all across the region. President Trump says he should have a role in choosing Iran's next supreme leader after Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in early strikes. Meanwhile, Iran has launched retaliatory attacks that are targeting Israel, U.S. bases, and other countries in the Middle East. Officials say the widening conflict has now affected more than a dozen countries, more than 1,000 people killed so far.